Hi, and welcome to today's video in which I share with you the fragrance purchases that I've made or perfumes I've acquired in the last 12 months. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but what prompted me is the announcement and pre-order of a fragrance advent calendar, which I will talk about at the end of the video and leave links down below. But like I said, these have taken a full 12 months to collect, and so I'll just start. And I've got a pad here with some notes that I've made. Now, the first item I've wanted for quite a long time. This is by Hermes, and it is Allocation, by Hermes. Like I said, by Hermes. This is Eau de Parfum. There is an Eau de Toilette, or there was one, but I think that's been phased out. So this has a little clasp on, and that's like there is clasp on the Kelly bag, which is one of the famous bags, not as famous as the Birkin, but it was famous in the 60s, and that was after the Princess of Monaco, can't think of her first name, and she always carried this fairly small leather bag. So this was produced was released in 2009, and it was quite expensive. So at the time, it was around £180 for a full size. This is a half size at 50ml. There was 100ml. So I hummed and hawed. It was only in the last year I purchased it, but I did try it and I wanted it for some time. And what I like about this is how it comes up. And so it's one you don't need a top, it just screws in and off, on and off, which I do like. Now this is a white floral with cedarwood, so it is supposed to smell of leather. So it really does. The problem with leather notes is they don't tend to be the longest lasting on the skin, but it is a beautiful fragrance. Now, whilst it was marketed towards women, it is clearly, as it is leather, a unisex fragrance. I've used it quite a bit. I don't want to use it up, but I got this on a website. It wasn't too expensive, but it is an authentic fragrance, and that's because the 50ml had been, unbeknownst to me, had been phased out a number of years ago. So the 100ml is what they sell, and it's generally just at Hermes at the moment in the UK. But I managed to acquire this, and it's absolutely gorgeous, a beautiful warm fragrance, and it just says a chord of leather, rose, violet, vanilla, mimosa, iris, citrus, and grapefruit at the top. So yeah, I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm really glad I have that in my collection. The next one is a flanker, and it is to Paris by Yves Saint Laurent, which I have the original Eau de Parfum. I've also got Parisienne Eau de Parfum, and this is Mon Paris, which was released a few years ago, and this is a flanker or a sister formulation. So it's a slight reformulation, and this one's got, I like the bottle, I like the cut of it, I like the ambery liquid, pinky amber, and these little diamantes are lovely. What I don't like about it is the cheap plastic top that falls off, because it obviously can't carry the weight. So yeah, they could do with a better top. It has a little YSL on, but I bought it obviously in terms of the fragrance, and that's because I went into Boots some time ago and they had this, and I tried it, and they actually said that this was the original Mon Boudoir, and it wasn't, because I said no, it isn't, because it's got the Diamante on. So this one is called Floral. So what I like about it, it's fresh. You can say I can sell a lot of. I can actually smell things which I don't normally like, which is orange blossom. I like orange blossom in some formulations, but most modern ones I don't. But it's got some orange blossom, peach in. A lot of fruity notes, which I love, and then floral. But this one is either low or no patchouli in it. That's the difference. It's the patchouli free version. There's another one called Couture as well, So there are different versions of this fragrance. This came out around 2019, I think, and then it got discontinued. When I bought this, it was difficult to find, and now there's more coming onto the market. I like it. I've used quite a bit of it, as you can see. So I like to, when I get a perfume, to try and get some use out of it. So that was lovely. I used it quite a bit during the latter end of last summer, if I can recall, if I'm right. And then I bought by Kilian, and I like Kilian. We just get that, which is now owned by one of the, it used to be an independent brand, but it is owned by one of the bigger brands now, who's taken them in. Estee Lauder have it, I think. And it is Dancing with the Devil. And that was released in 2013. And it is valued at £220. And it is an amber floral with black currant top note, white peach, lychee, blood orange, pimento, pepper, rose, jasmine, vanilla, cedarwood and tonka bean. Now I would say with this is moderate longevity. It is a sweet fruity floral. Now I got this in the cosmetics store. There aren't many outlets in the country, but there are a few. And I got this near Chester. Now this was reduced, and the reason it's reduced is this is the original packaging. In recent months, it has been changed to all white. So this is called the Talisman packaging, which is still on it, but it's in white. So there was collections in, generally, the original collections were in white and black. And this one, because it was Dancing with the Devil, was in black. So they've now changed it to white. So I prefer the black. And I do like the fragrance. Now, this was $220, and in the shop it was $140, something like that. But they had an offer that if you bought 3 items over a certain amount, I think it was over 100, then you could get £50 off, something like that. So I ended up paying around £97 for this, which is very, very good for a £220 fragrance. It came in a standard box. Now, some of them do come in a little clutch bag sort of thing, made of heavy plastic. That only certain ones do. This fragrance didn't. Wasn't an option, but I do have one clutch bag from them, and it generally goes up to about $280 if you get the clutch bag version. But like I said, it wasn't done in this particular fragrance. Now, it's a lot of money, but if you want something that I think is about 90% similar in the fragrance and how it smells, Dylan Blue by Versace is very similar, and it lasts much longer than this. And this is an eau de parfum. I'm glad that I'll have it. I like it. Now, can you see it's all black, but it's actually all taped, because you can see through the sides the actual clear fragrance, and you can see I haven't used a lot of it. I really haven't. This is only 50ml, so at $220 for 50ml, it is a lot of money, but you can buy refills that are a bit less expensive, say £180. But I'll see how well this lasts. But I'm pleased to have it because it is a fragrance that I do like. Then I got from Bella Freud, let me look in my bag next to me, I got one of her signature fragrances, and it's called 1970, which I think is the year she was born. And she, I think, is the great granddaughter of Sigmund Freud. And her grandfather was also a presenter in the UK on television. Now, I decided to get this because in one of the advent calendars a number of years ago, I just don't know whether it was Elle or whether it was Look Fantastic. I'd like to think it may have been Elle. They had, was it Latest in Beauty? It might have been Latest in Beauty. They had a candle, a black candle with a white band on in 1970. So it's supposed to be a peculiarly heavy fragrance, but when I actually got the candle, it was quite oily, resinous. I love the fragrance. I've not burnt it, I've still got the candle in a cupboard. Now, this is obviously the corresponding fragrance. Now, what I will say, it's not resinous and oily, it's quite a dry, fresher version. Now, it is basically an incense-rich fragrance. And the notes here are amber woody, may rose, saffron, incense, myrrh, vetiver, patchouli, moss, musk, benzoin. And I would say this is moderate longevity, so you better put it on moisturised skin to help lock it in a little bit. I've used a bit, as you can see, because it was new when I got it in its box, and it is difficult to get hold of now. You can get it on a website, and I don't know if I've put the price on here. No, I didn't, but it is fairly expensive, but I did get it. I got it, I don't know, somewhere between half and 2/3 of the cost. But like I say, it's very difficult to source, and it's new. And it's absolutely gorgeous. This is definitely unisex, leaning towards masculine, I would say. But I think that Bella Freud's preference in fragrance runs quite masculine. And I do like that. And I will say, out of the others I've shown you, I think Calais Caleche and 1970 are the more masculine fragrances. What I mean is it's a bit more unisex. Then the next item that I got, or that I've got to show you, was actually bought for me by Mr. Bear in November, because that's when my birthday is. So I went into Manchester. My mobility wasn't that good, but I was able to go in, and I went to Harvey Nicks, and I went to Selfridges of London, because there was a big store in Manchester. So the Christmas markets had just started, so I was able to go and have a good look round, and I brought my little dog, my little Pomeranian, who was allowed into Selfridges because he has his little carrier. We've got to carry dogs. So we went in and had a good look round, and I quite liked the items that were on sale by Christian Louboutin, because there is a counter there, a beautiful counter. And they have lovely fragrances, and their containers are absolutely, in my opinion, gorgeous. They may be a bit over the top, but I actually do like them. You get red glass bottles, or bottles that are stained glass red with silver and gold tops. So what happened is, I was going to buy for myself, because Mr. Bear had already bought me an expensive birthday present, but he bought me these. So there's 10 samples, and I only just opened them in recent days. So these were £68, but I didn't realise you can get them online for around £45, or you could earlier on this year. But there were some extras that were given to me by the staff, the sales assistant there. So it has a sleeve, and in there, and then it's got 10 fragrances, all 4ml. So basically there's 40ml for, say, for around, even at its top price, £68. And that is still very good value for money when 90ml is £235. So you can work out this is much less expensive. And basically you've got quite a lot of use of each fragrance. So they're more floral, tend to be a floral fragrances, but I can distinctly smell the fragrances. A lot of, even the most expensive ones, can either be too compressed or smell like bug spray. Not pleasant at all. But these do, I can appreciate the scents. Now my favourite, absolute favourite, are, I'm going to put these in here as you can see them, because it actually has pictures on the back. My favourite is called Luby Kiss, and there it is. Now this has a sugar skull with a crown of flowers on, and the fragrance notes are, I'm just going to go and pick this out of here. I think I put it in here. I may not have done. No, I haven't. Basically, it's a white floral, and it is based on tuberose, which is one of my favourite fragrances, gardenia and tuberose. So that is my overall favourite fragrance that I would like to buy if I had a selection out of any. There was an advent calendar last year that had Luby Rouge, which is a oriental Indian style fragrance that has cardamom. So it smells like rasmalai, which is a dessert, an Indian dessert, or Pakistani, Bangladeshi dessert. So that's what it smells like, quite sweet gourmand. And my other favourite ones are, I quite like Luby Prince. And that, the Luby Prince is one of the special editions, and they are stronger. And they come in, the vials are more transparent. And these have gold tops to the perfume bottles, and the rest have silver, like silver writing on this. So the only thing is there is patchouli, but I've got it on today and I quite like the blending of that. So I do like Luby Prince. And the other one I like, which isn't in here because it was released last year, but it wasn't in that gift set. I don't think it's going to go in because it's a 10 module piece. Is one called Luby Mar, which means Luby Sea. So basically it's a sea salt and tuberose fragrance with that like a musky, cedar woody dry down, which is my favourite. The only thing is leger, which means it's light. And I don't think Louboutin's fragrances are the most long-wearing. But my gosh, I think that's absolutely beautiful. So she gave me at least 5ml in there, which is very good. And a bag. Now the bags, if I put either lipsticks in, because they do sell lipsticks, or the long vials, they will fit in. So she kindly put one in there for me. And then more recently, I went online and I purchased on eBay for, I think it was £12, including packaging. I got 2 Luby Mar. Now it doesn't say leger, but it doesn't. Yes, it does say leger, which means light. And so I've got 2, and this has got a black lid, but it's clear. Yeah, well the others have got red tint. This isn't. It's clear. Get it out. See if I can get it out. There it is. So I've got 8ml of that. So and plus the 5, so I've got quite a lot. And the Luby Mar is very, very beautiful, but a bit light. So it's sea salt. It's very beachy style. So I've got those 2 as well from eBay, because I presume there was a big launch and a lot of those were given out at events. So also from when I went to the counter, sorry, I'm just going to put all my things together. I was given a Louboutin mascara, which I've yet to try, and then some Louboutin lipsticks. Quite like that one. It's a mauvey pink. Quite like that one. All the others are quite red, because you'd expect that, because Louboutin is known for the shoes and the red soles to the shoes. So that was all from Louboutin. Then very recently we got I'd say last month from M&S, which is Marks and Spencer's Autograph. I got the Smoked Cedarwood Eau de Parfum. In fact, Mr. Bear bought this. It runs more masculine than feminine, and it tells you what's in. It's I just think it's magnetic. Smoked Cedarwood is a deep and intense woody fragrance, freshened up with citrus fruits. Vibrant, sparkling top notes include mandarin, bergamot, combined with woody and spicy middle notes of cedar and clove, wrapped in a background of musk, patchouli and smoky oud notes. Now I don't like oud and I don't like patchouli, but this is a very beautiful fragrance. It runs more masculine, but I just, like I say, you can wear whatever you like. The only things that don't particularly suit many people is the gourmands. But yeah, this is truly lovely. It's got a sprayer on, and this was certainly less than £20. And I think we'll be getting a large one, which is either 100 or 150ml, but it is extremely fresh. And it is I'm sure made in the UK, and I'm sure it's Eau de Parfum. So again, we will be picking up a big one. This is a fairly new launch from M&S. Now, the rest of them is I've got a couple more parts actually, which I'm going to do separately. But I've got a house of fragrance that I've lumped together, and that is the Shea and Blue, who are a UK perfumer based in London, and the perfumer was based either with Chanel or Dior. I think it was Chanel as a perfumer. Now, he isn't a nose in that he doesn't select the elements, but I think he was a head of perfume, but he does understand perfume and fragrance extremely well. So the first item I've got, I picked up myself. This was worth £135, and this is one of their stronger perfumes. It's Extract of Perfume by Shea and Blue, and it's called Nashwa. So there it is. Now I got this from eBay, and it's from a seller that has a shop that sells lots of different perfumes. This is It's lovely. The only problem is I'm allergic to the oil because it's an oil based and it's really heavily oiled rather than alcohol. So I have problems with that. So if I wear it on my neck or upper décolleté, it causes rashes. Not on my wrist, so I'm going to put it onto my body or hair. But I will read you the notes. So I got this for around £70, I think it was at the time. And it says here, it was released in 2017, £135. It's got cocoa, chocolate, coconut, citrus, sweet notes, warm and spicy, oud, musk. And that is very long lasting. It would last for days on the skin. Now, I also got, before I bought this, I got this, which is a sampler. So this is 10ml and these are worth £25. This is very different. Although it says extract, it is more of an eau de parfum. It's certainly a lot more runny. It doesn't last as long. So there are two formulations, but the main formulation in the gold is very much like an oil. So again, it's not that it's a knockoff, it's just that I'm sensitive to the oils in it, but I can make it work. So this, that was something I think I got in a set. And then I thought, oh, I could do with a big size of that. And then I got a lilacs and gooseberries, which is absolutely gorgeous. Let me just, yeah, and it just smells, I love gooseberry, like I love rhubarb, and I love the scent of lilac flowers. You see them in big bushes. There's a lot near where I live. And in spring, it's lovely to walk by or just cut the blooms and put them in a vase. So that is a really unusual fragrance. In fact, I've not seen any like that. But Erin and Estee Lauder do lilac fragrances, which I will need to pick up at some point. The only thing is they don't last very long, the Estee Lauder ones. Then I have here another one, which is this. I do wish they would write them easier, or but I'll leave that one because that's a masculine one. Right, this is another that I picked up for myself, and it is Apple Blossom, Melrose Apple Blossom. It's a beautiful apple one, a bit like, I can't think of the company that make the apple-shaped ones, the American company. It's a very much like their range, but fresher and more naturalistic. So I do like that one. That's because it's lovely and fresh. I find the company stuff is lovely and fresh. Now, and then the final item I got, and I got this in a sale, £75, and I got this for £15. So it's worth looking at sales. There's a sale on at the moment. And it's blood oranges, white peaches, and watermelon. Now the one I wanted, because I didn't have, was watermelon, 10ml, and that is a lovely fresh watermelon. Now, obviously you can't do extracts of perfume from watermelon, so obviously it's artificial chemicals to make that fragrance, but it does, but I really do like the scent. It's absolutely gorgeous, not particularly long lasting, but it would be nice as an introduction to perfume, perhaps for a younger person. Now then, on to the more masculine items. I bought Mr. Bear from QVC, today's special value, and I think it was just before Christmas last year, and it's called Tonka Angelica Eau de Parfum. So obviously these are unisex, but this was geared more towards men. Now, the owner of the company was on and said it was only going to be one batch sold via QVC only. So I managed to get it. Lo and behold, a few weeks later, it launched on the website as well, but it is exclusive to them. So what he said wasn't right at all. I thought it was just going to be a one-off batch to QVC. That said, it's got Angelica in, which is lovely. But I found out I don't like Tonka, because in a lot of fragrances, there's ones like, oh, I don't really like it. And it is the Tonka. So I'm not a fan of Tonka because it smells to me similar to sandalwood, which I really dislike. But Mr. Bear was wearing, and it's got a really heavy top. They've improved the tops to these. They used to be very light. I like this, very classy now. The bottles, they have... I prefer the original label, but I do like the blue lid. So he was wearing this at work, or is wearing it at work. So basically, hopefully he'll get through that, but it's not a favourite of mine, but it'd be fine to be layered. So I'm just going to put that there. And then we got 3 fragrances with it. I think we bought, I don't know, or I got 3 fragrances at a ridiculously cheap price online. I think it came with this fragrance. I got... Kingswood, I think this is it, which is a woodsy one. Yep, I've got Kingswood. Then we got Amber Oud, which we're not too keen on. And then we got, I think there was another oud. Oh, Black's Club Leather, which is nice because we do like leather. So that is something we may buy a larger size of. The problem with Shea and Blue is they could, I suppose, hypothetically discontinue things. They don't tend to do that. So they do tend to keep them in the catalogue. The only problem is once they sell out of a supply, you've got to wait till they're remade, which could be a year or so. But yeah, these are nice masculine fragrances. Anyone can wear them. I want to make it very clear, but it's more masculine leaning. So I think they are all the fragrances that I've picked up in the last year, general fragrances for the body. Now I've got two more that I picked up for the hair. The first one is by Jizu and it's honey. So basically that's a hair company based on honey and they give shine and a bit of fragrance. This is really nice. It's inexpensive. I think this works out at around £20, something like for that. And then I've got a more expensive one, which I wanted to get for a while. And I bought it along with a gift with purchase. And it's Gabrielle by Chanel, and it's the hair fragrance. Now, this is not the essence, it is Gabrielle. And I actually do have the original Gabrielle eau de parfum 90ml. So this is a smaller 40ml frosted, and it will give shine to the hair. Absolutely gorgeous. I love Gabrielle. I find it quite similar to, it reminds me of the Dylan Blue by Versace, which I also love. I think this is a bit more elegant in its form, I would say. But yeah, I do like that. It's just, I wish they had better packaging, Chanel. That's all I will say for the bottles and the price. I do wish they'd have. It's very difficult to get it back in its box. But there you go. So they're all the fragrances. Now, I was going to, the reason that prompted me to get to do this video is that last year Harrods did a fragrance box. And it was 200 and, I think it was 250, the 225 or 250. And you got, there's 12 days of Christmas. So I think you ended up with about 14 items because some of the items were double up. There was 2 vials in, for example. And you either got mini sizes that could be like 5ml up to 30ml of perfumes. Now I didn't pick up last year's, which was released suddenly in November by Harrods. I had the opportunity to purchase it, but it was oud heavy. So in one way, it was very much unisex, leading masculine. But it did have Christian Louboutin, Louis Rouge, which is the one that smells of cardamom. It had that one in, but again, because it's not floral, it does lead. Although it's a gourmand, you could argue it as it's not floral. It maybe more men could wear it as well. So that was in it, and it had a beautiful bottle. There wasn't a lot else that I particularly wanted, so on balance I decided not to buy it. But it did have, there was a Roger Dove, and I do like Roger Dove, but it was a nude, which I'm not keen on. But again, the more expensive foods can sometimes be tolerable to me, and I do like Roger Dove's perfumes, so I didn't get it. So this time, it just suddenly popped up a few days ago. A YouTuber said that it was coming up and gave us the links. So I was able to have a look and pick the fragrances up. Now, what I will say is there is some feminine fragrances, there's some that's heavily masculine, but most are certainly unisex. And there is quite a number that I would like to try, or I have, and I would like another bottle. So I've purchased it, and this year it was cheaper. It was £175, which is still a considered purchase. There are 14 fragrances within 12 drawers, if you know what I mean. And the total value is over £1,000 for the contents of the box. Last year's was, I think, like I say, either 225 or 250, and the value was 888, something like that, or 880. So this one is better value at a lower cost. So what I'm going to do is I will link it down below. And when I've looked just before making this video, it was sold out. But what it has been in the first few days, it was open to it's called My Harrods or My Rewards or My Beauty Rewards. It comes up as different names on the Harrods website. So what you do is you sign, if you want to access this early, you then sign up, open an account, and you will get and opt into My Rewards, and then it will allow you to purchase. Now it is showing up as sold out at the moment, but I think it's because they let so many out at a time. They release so much, then you have to wait for more to be released. And I would look to do a pre-order on that. Now, apparently they're going to start to send them out on the 1st of September. It doesn't mean they all go out that day. I'm sure it's going to be phased. But if you're interested, I will leave the link down below. It may not be an active link because, you know, Harrods sometimes just shut it down. But if you keep checking, and I will put the name, it is called the Harrods 12 Days of Fragrance Advent Calendar. That's what it's called. So when I get it, I will show you the content. I'm sure I won't like everything, but I think between me and Mr. Bear, there will be enough items that we'll be both pleased about. So can I say thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it's been a long video, but I hope it's been of use and benefit to you. With the Harrods Advent Calendar, it does ship internationally, but not to every single country, because there are issues about sending fragrances out, you know, in between countries, because on planes they are a risk in terms of explosives. So sometimes they have to be shipped by sea, or certain couriers will, perhaps fly them. So generally though, if I was to send somebody a gift to America, I couldn't send perfume or fragrances because of the alcohol and the high flammability of it all. But yeah, it does say it does ship abroad, but it doesn't tell you the destinations. You'd have to try and buy it and put your destination in. But I wish you good luck with that. But can I say thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your time is valuable. Like I say, I hope you found this interesting or entertaining. And hopefully I shall see you again in another video. Otherwise, take care of yourselves and bye for now.